Mums with Hustle podcast, episode 481.
Welcome to the Mums with Hustle podcast, where you'll discover everyday mum entrepreneurs killing it in their industry. Learn the secrets you can replicate to create your own success with your host, Tracy Harris.
When I started my business, I really began from a place of feeling like all of the odds were just stacked against me. It felt like a place of disadvantage. And, I take myself back and I was 30 years old, just turned 30 years old. I was a new mom. I had a horrible return to work experience after a 13-month maternity leave. And I was at this crossroads. So I basically just quit my job and I thought, I'm just going to begin again. I'm just going to start living life on my own terms. Now, it was scary financially because, like I said, new mum, just quit my job. We had actually just moved into a new house where the mortgage was significant for us at the time. It was a little renovator's dream. And we were supposed to renovate, but hello, that plan meant that I had a job. And so now all of a sudden I didn't. And I was going to start my online business through content marketing. And I didn't even have the flashy equipment. I didn't have the house and the background and the aesthetic that was very Instagram worthy at the time. Now, Instagram back in the day, like I'm talking like 2015, was very much about the aesthetic and monochrome and flat lays, and everything really was perfect, and nothing about me or my life or my circumstance was perfect. I was pretty close to broke, but all that I had was my iPhone. I had my iPhone, I had my thumbs, and I had the Instagram app, which was free and still is. And because that's all that I had, and because I had a vision and a dream, I decided to start an Instagram account and to not just start it, but to truly master it, because that really was the one tool that I had. Because I was building my business whilst breastfeeding and sitting on my bed or sitting on the couch for what felt like hours at a time. And that really was my only opportunity to work, to create, to build something, to market my business, other than when baby slept. And let's be honest, like you never quite know how long your baby's going to sleep for. At least I didn't. I had a serial cat napper. I've shared this before. I'd put him down. He'd tend to do one sleep cycle of 20 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, and then wake up, and that was it. And so during that time, I was like, okay, do I eat? Do I shower? Do I clean up? What do I do? I didn't even feel like it was enough time to work. So again, those breastfeeding days where I could sit and just use the tool that I had in my hand, which was my iPhone and my right hand thumb, that's when I created the Mums with Hustle movement. And that's when I decided I need to master Instagram, because that is all that I have in my hands at the moment to help me build this business. And that's why I'm so passionate about helping women truly make the most of this tool for connecting with an audience. And the most powerful way to connect with your audience is through the art of storytelling. And so this podcast episode is a very special one because I've actually invited my new friend here in Bali and female entrepreneur and expert storyteller, Naomie Fall, onto the podcast to share with us exactly why storytelling is so powerful for connecting and also converting followers into customers. And how can we do this from a place of frequency and feelings and connecting and making a difference first, and then the tactical, strategic, and tech side second. Because I shared with Naomie after the podcast that what I've seen in myself over the past 10 years and what I see every single day in mentoring thousands and thousands of women over the past 10 years is that everyone's walking around wanting the silver bullet, the ultimate plan, the ultimate framework for growing a beautiful business online, But even if you gave them the plan, they're not able to execute it. And that's largely because of the energetics and the internal work of the individual that needs to take place. So Naomie is here with us. I'm going to introduce you to her now, and we are going to go through the art of storytelling, the tactical stuff, but also the mindset and headspace, spiritual elements to all of this. Let's get into it. Well, welcome to the Mums with Hustle podcast, Naomie. How are you?
Thank you. I'm so good. I'm feeling so well. It's very honor for me to be here. Thank you, Tracy.
Oh, well, I met you at a Women in Business event, and I think I've gone to a couple of those events, and both times you were there and we shared some conversation. Oh my gosh, actually, it just dawned on me that I picked a Secret Santa gift at a Christmas event and you were my Secret Santa, and now here we are recording the podcast. So it was just clearly all meant to be, and I think the angels are rejoicing. But you are one incredible female entrepreneur and a specialist or an expert when it comes to storytelling and connecting powerfully through video. So when I learned that, Naomie, I was like, oh, I have to get this woman on the podcast, because so much of what I teach and guide women to do when they're creating their freedom-filled business or when they're marketing on Instagram authentically and ethically has to do with storytelling and connecting and being a human and remembering that the people on the other end of the phone, they're humans too. So with that being said, when you say the word storytelling, what's your philosophy on that? What does it mean?
First, Tracy, I'm very happy to be here. Thank you so much. Like, I've been also following your work and what you've been doing for like many months now, and it's such like a source of inspiration also to be connected with women who has the same vision as me, and truly honored. So again, thank you. Yeah, storytelling. You know, it's always I think we all have kind of our definition of storytelling, but if I have to talk about mine, it's mainly like the heart of sharing experiences and ideas and emotions through a format that really resonates. So it can be words or it can be visuals, right? And it's more than words for me. It's like about connection. It's about how you're going to connect with people, how you're going to connect with your audience, but also how you're going to connect with yourself. And that is one of the most important things. It's a very, very powerful tool because it allows yourself to share your values, but also a lot of wisdom and a lot of things that you have been maybe implemented in your life that brought you to the person that you are today. And yeah, it's also a transformative way to explore and to grow yourself more deeply, connect with yourself and telling how to make a sense of your past and finding meaning in every chapter of upcoming. So yeah, it's a way, if I have to resume, it's understanding the power of your own story is what's gonna lead you to understanding yourself more deeply. So that's how I see it.
Oh, understanding and making sense of your past is something that you shared just then. And I just got like this like feeling in my gut, in my body. And so that's a prompt for me to ask you to elaborate that on a little bit, if you can. I've got so many questions that I want to ask you. I know that you also have this unique point of difference in terms of your philosophy around all of this, which is a very frequency first, production second methodology or philosophy. So we're going to touch on that. You've also got a powerful process, or really 5 common blocks that you see impact-driven, soul-led female entrepreneurs really, I don't know, it's common. These are 5 top things that they seem to be experiencing. But once they break through these, which you help them with also, they're really unstoppable when it comes to connecting powerfully through story. But we'll get to all of that, but let's just touch on getting in touch with your past self and learning to connect with everything that's happened in the past to really tap into what is now our purpose. And I guess have the courage to share that. That's the bigness of it all. I think that's where some discomfort comes from. But I'll let you tell us, like, what has our past experiences got to do with the type of story that we get to tell now?
So basically, I found out. So I've been doing like filmmaking and videography for the last 5 years now, and I've been traveling a lot, traveling the world, and I'm very grateful for that. And when it came to really choosing what type of storytelling, what type of videos I want to do, I really saw and felt that storytelling was something that is not only about visuals and filmmaking, is something very, very much more deep. And on many, many sets and days of filming, I was coming there, and people were about to talk about themselves, about their story, about their company, about something. And the days before, I was trying to tell them, well, even if it's your story, even if it's your company, just train yourself in front of the mirror, because it can be intimidating when it comes to share about it. And you need a bit of structure to really like know, okay, what do I want to share? How vulnerable do I want to be? How authentic can I be? And how can I lead the people to the core message of what I want to share with them? And so many, many times they just come and said, and they're like, yeah, of course, I know, it's my story and everything, I know. And then we start to shoot and they just freeze. And so it happened so many times that I was like, okay, there is something deeper. Creating content, filming yourself, sharing your story. There is something about the mindset and the energy and the frequency that you need to tap in before getting into that. So you can definitely be spontaneous and try to do it, but there will always be a part where you're going to try to, when you're going to look at the video after, where you're going to like focus on and say, okay, I could have said that, or maybe my posture, or, so that is, that needs a bit of training before, like of embodiment, even if it's yourself, because we have been, since we're young, and it depends of like the childhood and the education that you have, but we have been so much convinced that what we are is sometimes not in us, or what our, like the feelings that we have during our story and the thing that we've been living are not how you say eligible, relatable,
yeah, or even just interesting enough. I know I've definitely had these thoughts when I go to share something. I just think, oh, everybody already knows this. Like, this isn't new. Like, maybe I've read a book, right? And I've been really inspired by this book. And then I think, oh, I'm going to go on Instagram. I'm going to share that with my audience. And then I have this voice that will kick in and go, everybody's read that book, Tracy. Or, that term's like so known. Like, how boring. Like, move on, talk about something else. And so that has been something that I've had to go, well, actually, no, not everyone has read this book, or I've got a very unique take on what I just read because no one has lived my life up to now. So I've got a different perspective to share. When I talk about this book, that is probably a New York best-selling book, it's like, yeah, it's popular, but it doesn't mean I don't get to add value to the conversation.
Yes.
Yeah. So is that the sort of thing that you're like, oh gosh, you go to speak and then you have these little voices in your head that tells you it's not enough, or you're not relatable, or it's not credible, or just all these excuses come up to try to block us?
Yes, definitely. And what is like very, very impactful is not only like you get to speak, but then you need to see the reflection of yourself when it comes to be in front of the camera. And that's why like it's like you're doing like 2 times more work and 2 times more self-acceptance. Because let's say I'm sharing a story with you now, I don't see myself. You're in front of me and I don't see myself. I don't see the reflection. It's been recorded, but just what I want to say is like usually when you talk to your friends, your family, or even on stage, you don't even see yourself. You don't see your presence. You don't see your posture. You don't see like maybe those little things that you will call flaws and imperfections, right? But when it comes to step in front of the camera, it's not only about the way you're going to express, it's about the reflection. It's about the mirror of your soul. It's about all of the things that people see on a daily basis that you cannot see because you cannot duplicate yourself, right?
Yes.
So
We never get to see ourselves in the way that others see us.
yes.
And so the women that I've worked with, and I know I've experienced this, I'm sure you've experienced this as a female entrepreneur who has building a personal brand, marketing herself, we can sometimes fear judgment because we don't know how we're being perceived. So it's very vulnerable. If people feel scared, I think it's valid. It's natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is one of the. There are so many different things when people come to my coaching program that we can see that are just blocking them to really embody it. And we're talking about also like entrepreneurs that has been doing this for years and years. We're talking about men, we're talking about women, we're talking about a lot of people who on a daily basis felt confident about what they built. But when it comes to just have more clarity on how to share all of this, and because also we have the tendency of not giving ourselves victory for the little steps of things that we do on a daily basis, because, okay, I did that. Oh, that's nothing. I can do better. Or, and we often forget about like, okay, but that thing you did, that plot twist, that turning point of your story is actually what makes you successful today, or it's actually what makes you be the person that you are today and going to another type of direction. So so something that's mainly and I saw a lot of people share to me that blocks them to step in front of the camera. I saw like 5 things, and one of the first thing is the fear of judgment.
I'm going to write these 5 things down, and I encourage everyone, because I tell my beautiful listeners, make sure you have a journal or a notebook when you listen to the Mums with Hustle podcast. Episodes come out every Monday because Mondays can often be very motivating for some people. It's the start of a new week, or it can be terrifying. Like you can have the Monday scaries. You cannot feel like working. You can lose your momentum. So the podcast comes out on a Monday to inspire everybody. Get your notebook out, get a pen or pencil, and write down these 5 mindset blocks. Yes. And let's kind of feel in, as we write down each one, feel which one has a bit more of a response in your body. Or maybe it's a couple. Yeah. And I'll definitely share with you which ones I've had.
Yes.
All right. So what's the first?
So just before sharing the 5, I think one of the things, and I like the fact that you say like this, just let's close your eyes and just feel which one resonates the most. One of the things that I do often during my workshops is if you really want to understand where the blockage come from, it's important just to reconnect to yourself and to close your eyes, right?
Yeah.
So you will understand like when one day I thought that one of those 5 things that I'm going to share has impacted me. What was like maybe that sentence that someone says to me at some point that just showed me that I wasn't enough, or a lot of things like this. And when it comes to share your story, either it's in front of the cameras or just like on a daily basis, it's really, I like people to go back to the intention. And when I say the intention is like, okay, I want to start to share, understanding why you want to do it. Is it because you feel it's good for your business? Is it because you want to follow a trend? Are you doing it for yourself? And for that, one of the key things that I do is try to go back to the first camera memory that you had, the first time you saw a camera in your life. What was it made from? What was the purpose of it? How did you how did you receive it? So let's say, like, I remember me, the first time I saw a camera was like at a birthday, a family gathering, right? And where I want to go with this is we often forget that a camera is here to capture, it's here to share. And when you just come back to, oh, when I was younger, I was so innocent when I was taking maybe my grandpa's camera or my grandma's camera, and I was like filming all around. I wasn't thinking about trend. I wasn't thinking about, I was just like filming and capturing moments of myself. I wasn't thinking about my flows. I wasn't thinking about all of this. And so reconnecting with your intention is one of the most important things, first and foremost, if you want to feel more authentic and if you want to be more aligned with the story that you're going to share.
Mm-hmm.
So knowing that, the 5 blockage and things that I often heard is, the first thing is the fear of judgment. So usually it's about worrying about the criticism and the negative feedback of sharing your story. It's about what people are going to say if I share that. Am I allowed to say that? Is that valuable? And all of those thoughts that can come to your mind. If you want to rebound on one of these points, I'm going to share more about 2 of these a bit later, but just going to resume them. The second one is the lack of confidence, which is feeling inadequate or unprepared on camera, thinking that shooting content is asking a lot of preparation, and just this feeling of like not feeling okay and aligned with yourself, which usually come from far and come from inner and limiting beliefs that we had before.
Okay. Can you give an example? Like, what's a common one or a recent one that you've helped a client work through or identify?
Yeah. So one of my clients, so basically we were doing a timeline exercise and he was closing his eyes and we were like just going back to a few memories. And he shared to me, like, I don't feel confident when I step in front of the camera for many reasons, but I don't know where it was coming from. So we did that meditation and this visualization, and we came back to one of the things that his mother told him when he was like 10 years old, and he was grabbing the camera and like doing kids things with it, And she told him something that just I cannot share the example right now, but she just told him something that's literally drawn him down. And that felt, oh, okay, my reflection, the moment that I'm capturing myself and the reflection that is going to be captured is not good. It's not enough. It's not valuable. And just that seed that her mother plants in him without really acknowledging that now he's 38. 28 years later will still impact him. And that was a very beautiful moment because he started to cry and everything. But just saying that, understanding that the lack of confidence can be coming from so many things. And also like with other clients, it can be, I compare myself with everyone on social media. Mm-hmm. I compare myself to a lot of influencers that has this perfect life and everything. So filled with nourishing this lack of confidence by comparing ourselves to the vision that we have of what is to be that person, right? That's how we nourish the lack of confidence on a daily basis. And the third thing is the perfectionism. So waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect angle or perfect lighting or, all of this, the perfect time of the algorithm to post and all of these things that at the end just make us not doing it.
Yeah. I mean, that used to be me up until, I don't know, not too long ago. It's only in recent years. And actually, the more I work on it, the more I undo it. But there would have been a time where you said, like, the needing to be perfect was a block for me. Like, it really, really was. So if anyone is out there and you're like, oh, that's me, I can't imagine never being like that. Well, I'm an example of what it looks like to break through on the other side of that. I still think, Naomi, that I can get even more raw, get more real. Like, I think that there's like layers to it as well. But I have come so far. And for me, I kind of had that story of it's not worth doing something unless it's done right, you know? Like, and so that was a value that I carried through everything in my life. Like, there's no point in having people come over for dinner if you're not going to be the perfect host. Or have the house look perfect. Or there's no point in baking a birthday cake unless it's going to look like a store-bought perfect cake. Or there's no point in entering that talent contest in high school unless you can sing perfectly. Or there's no point in entering the swimming carnival at 12 years old unless you're going to get first, second, or third. Like, don't bother getting in the pool. I had all of these. Unless I'm going to do it perfectly, I'm not going to do it at all because I don't want to look like a failure. That was my story for everything for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It has been also for me like one of the biggest one of the biggest block when it comes to share my story, to share that content. So I can really relate. Thanks for sharing what you say and sharing about more your mental blocks. I feel like if for myself it was more about when you are a creative mind and when you have so many ideas, you get to compare yourself to other creative minds and just like trying to put logic in it where there is no logic because it's you. It's coming from your mind. It's coming from your brain. It's coming from yourself and your story, right? So it cannot be duplicated. It cannot. Okay, you can maybe try to copy like a kind of template, but at the end, like people connect with yourself. They connect with yourself better than just the perfection of it. And I'm sure like it happened to you also, as it happened to me, where I just share like a random story or a random reel or something. Like I didn't put too much brain juice in it. And it's just like perform.
It popped off.
Time better. Yeah. Right? Rather than just like the video, I spent like 4 hours editing on it and just like.
Me too. Me too. And when we've done all 5 of these, I'm going to write a note like, or please remind me to tell you the video that popped off for me that I just did not expect. And I'm still shocked to this day. I think it may have the most views on my Instagram feed of all time. And it was not one that I expected. So I will talk about that afterwards.
Okay.
But yeah, perfection. Oh my gosh, it's a big one.
It's a big one.
What's number 4?
Number 4 is I don't know what to say. So those come to more mental blocks and kind of script anxiety. Should I script everything that I'm going to say on camera? How can I make it fluid when I speak, when I share? And that often comes to maybe the lack of clarity that we have before stepping in front of the camera or sharing your story, and the lack of clarity of the highlights, the things that are important and why you want to share it, basically, So this is not asking a lot of preparation, but just understand, okay, today I'm going to shoot content. Where do I want to get with that? It's not about like putting too much pressure on the result. It's more about where do I want to get with that and where do I want to lead people when I share this,
Yes. And we're not talking about I want to get 100 likes and I want to have a lot of comments. We're not talking about the vanity metrics, because when we create content where that is the focus, we create a very different style of content.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's true. I was also like this at some point. I told myself that I had to heal from numbers, like the numbers. This is how we track. But at some point I found out that it was more valuable for me, the number of people who are going to save the posts rather than the number of views or the numbers of like, or even the share. Like for me, like the other metrics that really, really are important and that are satisfying is like, okay, if someone save it, it means that they want to have it as a reminder. It's not only something they click on it and they switch, you know. If someone share it, it means that they feel that this can influence their own community in a way and have more impact. If someone's take the time to comment it, it means that I touch them in a way and they want to express themselves. And I talk about positive and also negative comments, you know. At the end, when you choose to expose yourself, you have to be ready for all of this. And that's why coming back to the intention, understanding why did I turn on the camera today and why do I want to share this? If you focus only on the numbers, you're not connected to yourself. You're connected to what you wish the result could be for the others and to show a level of success that in our society thinks it's numbers and it's views and it's, you know what I mean? So, going back to, I don't know what to say, with a bit of preparation and clarity, this like just flows. So flows more, become more fluent.
How do I want to help one person today?
Yes.
That is like, okay, you know, so grounding for me anyway. So I'm sharing this with everyone listening. Maybe you'll find that helpful, but it takes our ego out of it, because when we are wanting to say something popular or perfectly, that really is our ego. And we're looking for that validation, and we can get embarrassed if content gets low likes or if you ask someone to comment a particular word and it's very visible that no one has left the comment. You know, these are the things that as creators, as entrepreneurs, we experience in silence. Yeah, and mostly in shame, unless you belong to a community of entrepreneurs or creators, or my ladies belong to my social method society. So we have a space to go and share what this experience feels like when you use these calls to action and it's public and no one's responding. That's very real, you know? So it can lead people to think, oh gosh, how embarrassing. And it can prevent us from trying again, trying to connect again. Yeah. So having that clarity of what do I want people to feel when they watch this content?
Yes.
And what do I want them to learn?
I think like if I can rebound on what you say is also like, okay, how do I want to help someone today? But also how do I want to help myself by doing this? You know, like if you share something and there's not the results that you want for many reasons, whatever are the results that you were expecting for, you're helping yourself through a realignment. You're helping yourself of like tap more into your creativity. You're helping yourself, or maybe, okay, I was trying to follow the trend of like comment this to receive the package or to receive the program. And I talk about content creators that usually do this. I did that a few times. Maybe that's not the method. Maybe that's not how your audience feels connected to you. Maybe there are other ways. And so from that, it's not about, okay, I'm going to stop posting because nobody commented on that post. It's like, okay, how do I realign myself to make it more successful in the criteria that are mine, the criteria of success that are mine, right? So trying and readjusting is one of the key of success when it comes to storytelling, finding the way to share it better and more aligned. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
There are so many clues and opportunities for us to learn more about ourselves, like you just said, and more about our people in those experiences when we feel like we've failed. If we can get the ego out of the way, if we can get past the embarrassment, if we can move past the cringe, then we can go, oh, okay, that style of content doesn't allow for my genius, or that style of content isn't authentically me. I was copying that creator instead. Or my audience doesn't actually like when I speak about negative things, but they prefer when I come from a positive angle. Like there's so many things that we can learn, so many clues in all the failures, but we get so obsessed with the failure that we can't see the clues. So thank you for saying that, because that's a big one. That's a big one. Yeah. Oh, what's number 5?
Number 5 is about the equipment.
Ooh, yes, because that is a block for people. People saying, I'm not techie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a creator. I can't really do this. Oh my gosh. Okay, please help us. What do we actually need?
So to share a bit more about my story, when I started to do videography and filmmaking, I didn't had I wasn't like, how can I express this? I didn't have the financial support to buy an expensive camera and gear and all of the things that I thought would make myself valuable when it comes to share a story.
Oh, I relate so much. I was broke when I started. So it was hard, like I didn't have anything fancy. We didn't have things that a lot of Australians would consider basic in a household even. I mean, I'm born in a third world country. I'm living in Bali for the past year. What I consider basic is very different to what other people consider basic. And I know that like we live in a very privileged society, but I hear what you're saying, that when you're starting your business without very much money in your pocket or your savings is zero, how do you start to connect online when you haven't got great equipment? Like that is so real. So thank you for sharing that piece of yourself with us, because I relate to that.
Definitely. That was something that I had to overcome at some point, because filmmaking, movies and cinema in general has been part of my whole childhood. I was so, and I'm still very passionate about it. And I was like, I need to find a way to make it. So I restrict myself. I haven't done like any studies in filmmaking. I have learned on my own because I was convinced, and I'm not blaming them, but I was convinced that I had to take another path because the film industry is unstable and you have to be the best in it if you want to make it. But so I did other type of studies after high school because, and I'm not going to blame them, but the people that were around me was convincing me that filmmaking and the film industry is such a tough industry where you have to be the best to have an impact and everything. So I did other things that were not really aligned just to get into that box. But my intuition and my dreams were so bigger that I was like, I'm just going to figure it out. How can I still doing it while responding to what the society wants for me, in a way, the society I'm in, which actually, and I don't regret this, but just leads to the fact that I started to do videos and filmmaking with my phone. And I heard that there were like more and more ways to create something impactful in stories with simple equipment. And that is not only like the quality and the high quality of whatever you want to share that matters. It's more the message. It's more the story. It's more how you lead the people to get where to the core message of your story, right? And so I was always figuring out a way to go on shootings or to get hired. And honestly, without really mentioning, I'm not coming with a big camera. I just show up there with my phone with a little gimbal. And at first, a lot of them were like, so we saw your portfolio and you're coming with a phone to do that? And I say, yeah, but the quality of my portfolio has been shot with my phone. And that was like an iPhone back then. And so I learned how to master something that I use on a daily basis to make the best out of it without thinking, okay, I need to buy this to make myself valuable on the market. I know that I can share my message without spending tons of money that I didn't have on this. And the confirmation, just to finish the loop on my story, is that I after losing one of my 9 to 5 job back then for financial reasons, I decided that I wanted to start to travel the world and do more storytelling and filmmaking. So I did attend to contests that is called the Filmmaker Challenge. So it was 11 people selected from all around the world that we met in Brazil. And there was like 1 week of competition. And I knew at that time, most of the people that are going to be around me are going to come with their big cameras, drones, gear and everything. And I was like, I just have my phone. I had like another, a little DSLR camera that wasn't doing 4K that a friend of me just gave me for this week. But I wasn't using it because the quality wasn't what I was expecting. And I was able to get more out of my phone than this camera, right? So I did attend to this contest, and while at the end, the result is that I won this contest by putting my phone, and that was just the confirmation that the story and how I shared the final result was like a 1-minute video that we have to make on the topic. But that wasn't about like the equipment that I'm gonna use. That was about the heart, the frequency, the energy, and the vision that I put in that video. And that's just what confirms everything. So, yeah.
I love that. Do you know what I wrote down? Because I feel like the Holy Spirit just gave me a lovely summary, which is make your adversity your advantage.
Mm-hmm.
That's what came to me, and I wrote that down, and now I'm like, I have to do a post on that at some point. Yes. Because most of us have an imperfect start, or we have a little shame and embarrassment around our circumstances. And we can think, I'm not going to be successful because I don't have the fancy things like that person, or I'm not shooting my podcast in a fancy studio, or I don't have the whatever. And these are just negative forces, I'm just going to say it, to try to keep us stuck where we are instead of shining our light with the world.
Definitely. And it's definitely, it's coming also from who you compare yourself with. Like, if I compare myself with big movie directors, and I'm going to share this, but if I compare myself with big movies directors, of course, like my phone on a big screen will not get the same quality. But I just want to say that a few filmmakers just shown the last years that they were able to make a full movie. And there is one movie from Sean Baker called Tangerine that was filmed with the iPhone 5C.
Oh, like, so cool.
Yeah.
That is the distinguishing feature. That's what makes it cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
definitely. And there is another movie coming. I forgot the name of the director, but it's called 28 months later or something like this. And everything was filmed on an iPhone 15. So, and it's going to be on everywhere in the world and on movie theaters, you know. So just want to go back to, there is a starter pack that you can have to start filming, like essential equipment that I'm going to share.
Yeah.
But at the end, just understanding that the energy, the frequency, the mindset, the message that you're going to share is 10 times more important.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that so much. And that's why I wanted to get you on the podcast, because I knew that at the heart of everything really is the heart and soul. When it comes to how you guide entrepreneurs, how you capture stories, how you unlock power and potential in people, it's from that frequency first and intention and connection. And the same thing goes for everything that we do in our businesses, our marketing on Instagram, our offers that we build, our sales processes and experiences. It's like if we can just tap into that space more, that's how we actually stand out. Otherwise, the frameworks, the steps, the processes, the funnels, all those things, we tend to lose our essence when we make those things be at the front. I'm not saying those things aren't important. We need both. But like you said, the camera is second. And what's first is connection and the frequency and the impact you're to make. How do you want people to feel when they watch this? How are you reconnecting with yourself through your own story in the process? Like all of that first and then the tech second. So what is the minimal starter list that we need when it comes to the equipment?
Okay. So I will start with the smartphone. So basically, for me, I'm more into iPhone, but it really depends. Like I saw that like Samsung is doing amazing. Also, other phone companies are doing amazing. But whatever type of phone you have, try to master it. Go on the settings. Be curious. Okay, what setting do I need to put to have this type of quality and understanding that every nowadays, like the last smartphones are doing 4K. So if you're able to tap into that, like this is like just a very, very good beginning. So be curious, go on YouTube, watch a 10-minute videos. What are the best settings that I need to put on my phone to make the best out of it? And there's so many videos that talks about it. One thing to not forget is to clean your lens before filming and to check your storage also. Those are two essential things that sometimes we forget to start to film. And then there's like a big fingerprints on the camera, and then it can like just ruin a bit the quality. But make the best out of your smartphone. Then stabilization. So it can be like a $10 tripod both on that you can buy on Amazon. It can be like on some phones, the stabilization is already embedded. I would say embedded.
Incorporated?
Incorporated, yeah. Incorporated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many words we could use.
Yeah, sorry. My French sometimes just go back and I don't really like know how to express it.
Oh, you are doing so well. Don't try to interview me in French. It's not happening.
But if not, and if you just like filming yourself like on a single shot, you can just use a stack of books, for example, just to stabilize your phone. Just be creative. Like, be careful, of course.
Yeah. Do you know what I used for so long? Because again, I was so broke. I would get a large drink bottle, or even if I didn't have one big enough, I could only have one. I'm not talking like a small one. It was a big one, or even a wine bottle, a wine bottle size.
Yes.
Yeah. And then a hair elastic that I would tie like a head tie. And I would put that, like slide the hair elastic over the wine bottle.
Yes.
And then have that hold the phone against the wine bottle. That, for the longest time in my kitchen, near some good natural light, was the best.
Yes. I mean, that's why I think like being creative, if you're not able to like just use some books, bottles, or whatever thing that's gonna just stabilize your shot at the end. There's so many things that you can do for this, and then it will be the audio. So you can buy those little lavalier mic that you can just put here. Usually, again, it's like $10 on Amazon. But if not, just shoot in a quiet location. Like nowadays, also phones has good sound resolution, and it's just like if you want to amplify it, it depends on how you want to share your story. I would recommend to invest in it, but it doesn't have to be a big investment at the end. And the last point will be the lighting. So understanding, and that you can just also watch like a few minutes YouTube video on it. I'm teaching it during my mentoring and my program, but understanding just the basic of lighting, where do I need to position myself to get the best out of it. And if it's not using the natural light, and then if you really want to invest in a little light, you have those ring lights, I think $5 on Amazon or something. That's just like the starting pack, or those pads. I have in a few weeks actually a online course that is coming, and that's going to talk about all of this, where I show more example of those little tools that you can have. But at the end, if you're not able now to invest, just be creative and just like knowledge, like try to understand more about how to make the best out of what you already have. Yeah.
I'm going to share a quote that inspired me so much when I was at the very beginning of my business journey. It's actually the banner photo, the background photo on my personal Facebook profile. I had it there from the very beginning. I don't know how long now, years. Because like I said, I felt like I started my business just with my iPhone in the dark, breastfeeding my baby. It felt like I was always breastfeeding my baby in my bed because I was. And all I had to build my business was this phone. And so for me, the thing that I mastered was Instagram, because that's literally all that I had to get this business up and going. And so I love your message, Naomie, about just master the thing that you have, because if you master that, then the other things that you eventually need, they come as opportunities or as resources, or you're able to invest again because you've grown a bit. But it starts with making the most of what you have and not always wishing that you were in someone else's shoes. Just make the most of what you have. So the quote that I've got on my Facebook banner is actually a quote from St. Francis of Assisi. And he says, "Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible. And suddenly you are doing the impossible." And I was like, that is for you. That is like what you do in a nutshell. Like, there is nothing that we can't do. We get to make our adversity be our advantage. Yes. And you have helped us so beautifully with identifying those 5 mindset blocks that prevent us from connecting authentically and powerfully through storytelling. But you've also given us practical solutions. So I just want to thank you so much. Of course. And where can my audience go to follow you, to see your visual storytelling on Instagram and to say hello?
Yes. Thank you so much, Tracy, for that opportunity to share my vision about it. If I just can close
of course,
and resume it, there is one thing we didn't have to talk about during our exchange, but one thing that really, really, really helped me is a philosophy of life that I'm applying nowadays, which is to see your life as a movie. And when it comes to that, the camera doesn't become something you're going to be fear of anymore. It's going to be like your ally. It's going to be a way to express yourself more deeply, because if you are the director of your movie's life, you're able to have the end on so many things, and just bring that mindset when it comes to share your story. Okay, if this is my movie's life and I want to share it, what do I want it to look like? What type of impact do I want it to have on my audience and on myself? Who are the casting, the people that I want to choose to be part of my life or not? What music, and a lot of things and a lot of topic that I talk also on my podcast that is called Your Life is a Movie on YouTube. So yeah, thank you so much again. And yeah, so where your audience can find me? So on Instagram at Naomie Fall. So I think it's going to be written with Naomie Fall.
I will put the spelling in the show notes, because I really want everyone to go and have a look and see how everything that you shared with us verbally today on the podcast, how it actually translates and looks as visual storytelling through film.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, people need to go look. And there's different styles as well. Like, go and have a look at the different ways that you can show your life as a movie and pick up the mood and the emotions and the frequency, and not just the structure of things. Go and have a look. Yeah. So I'll make sure that I pop Naomie Fall in, and how to spell that, in the show notes, and go and have a look.
Definitely. And then on my on my Instagram page, you can find my podcast, Your Life is a Movie, and the Instagram page of my company for like the mentoring program that I'm proposing. So everything is there. Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. And I think the greatest thing out of this conversation is it all comes back to the heart. It all comes back to the purpose and to the person. And so much of that gets lost when we just keep thinking in our masculine with the tech and the structure and the what to say and how to say it and the length and how long should this section be and blah, blah, blah. Like all of that is where I see people going off track, getting out of alignment. But you've helped to bring it right back. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Tracy. And yeah, hopefully like we get to reconnect again. We're both in Bali. So thank you.
Yes, we will. Take care. Do yourself a favor and go and check out Naomie Fall on Instagram. This is how you spell it if you're the type of person that needs to whip their phone out now and go and have a quick look. Naomie Fall. Naomie Fall. She is a storyteller and video mentor. And I mean, you need to go and see exactly what she's talking about when we say frequency, connection, authenticity. Wow, it's incredible. So go and have a look at that. And I can't wait to hear your feedback on this episode, on what came up for you as we were going through those 5 common mindset blocks. Which one kind of had that feeling for you? Please come and stop by on my Instagram feed and look for the post promoting this week's episode and let us know which one of the 5 connected with you, or which one of the 5 are you currently experiencing right now? Is it the fear of judgment? Is it a lack in confidence? Is it perfectionism? Is it number 4? I don't know what to say. I need a script. And then you just get lost in all of that. Is it number 5? I don't know what tech I need. I can't be a great producer because I don't have the fancy things. Let us know. And thank you for listening to this episode. I hope it has served you well. Head on over to socialmethodsociety.com to get on the wait list or to come and join us. And I look forward to supporting you in becoming more visible online and in building your beautiful freedom-filled business. Take care.